Coming up on Network Africa, over $11 million is reported to be missing from the Gambia State Treasury. Electoral Commission carries out final voters registration ahead of August polls in Kenya. Heavy snow and freezing conditions leave many Algerians without electricity and heat. Welcome to the program. I'm Temitope Fagbemi. We'll start with a quick roundup of the summary of stories that made headlines during the weekend.
Hundreds of jubilant Gambians on Sunday lined up the streets of Banjul and cheered as West African troops entered the presidential compound. A convoy of more than a dozen vehicles, including armored personnel carriers, mounted with heavy machine guns and pickup trucks full of soldiers, rolled into the palace next to the Gambian River. City residents lined the roads, applauding and shouting "Thank you" as the soldiers smiled and waved back. They rushed towards the presidential palace chanting a property. Jammeh, who led Gambia for 22 years but refused to accept defeat in the December election, flew out of Banjul late on Saturday en route to Equatorial Guinea as the regional force was poised to remove him. Newly elected President Adama Barrow ordered the West African troops to go to Gambia to ensure safety on the ground as he prepared to return. Elsewhere, representatives of 7 nations and United Nations Special Envoy to Libya, Martin Kobler, met in Cairo on Saturday to discuss means of restoring security to a nation crippled by political chaos after the uprising that toppled Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Foreign ministers attending expressed their refusal of any foreign military intervention in the country, while adding support to the agreement signed in 2015 to form a unity government. The agreement brokered by UN was forged between Libya's warring factions and led to the government of national accord. But the GNA has struggled to impose its authority in the capital, remaining half-formed and short of popular and logistical support. It has also failed to win endorsement from power brokers in the east. Libyan forces in December finally seized the coastal city of Sirte from Islamic State control, backed by hundreds of US airstrikes after a nearly 7-month battle in a major blow which left the militant group without any territory in Libya. The new special representative of the Secretary General for South Sudan, David Shearer, arrives in the country to assume his duties. Speaking to the press on his arrival in the capital, Juba, he notes that the South Sudanese people deserve to have a state that is functioning and that looks after them and is also stable and provides for their peace and their prosperity. David Shearer, from the New Zealand success Ellen Margaret of Denmark, who completed her assignment at the end of November 2016.
I'm looking forward to the assignment. I know it's going to be challenging, but I feel that the South Sudanese people deserve to have a state that is functioning and it looks after them and is stable and it provides for their peace and their prosperity. So what we can do to contribute to that, I'll certainly be doing my very best to make sure that happens.
The special representative also met South Sudan's Foreign Minister Deng Alo.
For the peace of this country, we need to work together to help the people of this country, and we need to work together so that we reduce and completely stop violence in this country. So he is very much welcome.
Shearer has held senior positions with the UN, including serving as the Secretary General's Deputy Special Representative resident coordinator and humanitarian coordinator for the UN mission for Iraq.
Over $11 million is missing from the Gambia state coffers following the departure of longtime leader Yahya Jammeh. An advisor to President Adama Barrow, Mai Ahmed Fati, says financial experts are trying to evaluate the exact loss. Reports say luxury cars and other items were seen being loaded onto a Chadian cargo plane on the night Mr. Jammeh left the country. Mr. Jammeh flew into exile on Saturday, ending his 22 years in power. He had refused to accept election results, but finally left after mediation by regional leaders and the threat of military intervention.
The Gambia President Adama Barrow's special advisor, Mai Ahmed Fati, reveals that the millions of dollars that went missing from the state coffers was withdrawn by the former president over a period of 2 weeks. This comes just as West African troops enter the country to beef up security.
Period of 2 weeks alone, nearly $500 million were withdrawn by the former president, the government of the former president. Within 2 weeks, nearly $500 million. That's a lot of money, considering that we spend about $200 million on recurrent expenditure relating to payment of civil service and so forth. That is a lot of money.
Speaking on Senegalese radio, President Barrow said that upon initial inspection, it appeared Jammeh had looted state resources. President Adama Barrow, who was sworn in as president in the Gambian embassy in Senegalese capital Dakar, sent troops to Gambia to ensure security before his return to take office.
Additional forces crossed into the Gambia to beef up the numbers already on the ground. It is absolutely imperative that peace, security, and stability of the country be fully secure. The political and security gridlock imposed upon us after our victory in the elections of 1st December 2016 continues to present formidable challenges at all levels. Concern.
Long-time authoritarian leader Yahya Jammeh fled the country late on Saturday after leading Gambia for 22 years.